There's the hit to the shortstop, which is Luke Pack. Throw over to Dagan Grizzle. Out number one of the inning. Number 4, Jet Griswold. And that brings up Jet Griswold for the Oologah Tigers. He's the right fielder. First pitch is in from Ryland. It is a strike. I'm sorry, ball. Count is 1-0 with 1 out. There's a delivery inside low for ball 2. So Ryland has thrown 3 balls in a row. It counts 3-0. Right down the middle for strike number 1. The count now goes to 3-1. His hit popped up, foul, out of play, foul ball. The count goes full to 3-2. Here's the full count. Outside, Ryland walks the second batter for Oologah in the inning. Number 5 and catcher, Landon Roach. So that brings Oologah's catcher to the plate. He'll be the third batter of the inning for Oologah. Ryland Eagle once again on the mound for Black Diamonds. He had a strikeout, a walk. That's pitches in there for strike 1. Count goes to 0-1. Counts 0-1, 1 out, 1 on. There's a delivery. Foul down the third base line, out of play. Count is now 0-2. On deck for Oologah, there's number 7, Carson Robertson. Throw to Griswold. Griswold is safe. Now we have Eagle to Roche. There's the pitch. Popped up right center field. Not going to get there in time. That's going to be a base hit for Oologah, and it's going to be a double. Throw to third. Not in time. Oologah now has runners at second and third. And scoring 1 runner in scoring position. Yes. Number 7 and first baseman, Carson Robertson. So there's 1 out, 2 on for Oologah. Runners at second and third. At the plate, Carson Robinson. Ryland Eagle on the mound for the Black Diamonds. Eagle to Robertson. That's hit high to left field. Over the head of left fielder, local Bethlehem. And Carson Robertson got a double out of that. 2 will score for Oologah. Oologah gets off to a very fast start this game. Number 10 and center fielder, Maddox to Phyllis. So they've had 2 pop-ups into the outfield. Black Diamonds have not been able to come up with either one of them. We now have 1 out, 1 on. There's the pitch. Right in there for strike 1. The hit to left field was over Logan Bethel's head. Hit out to right field. Johnny Velasquez and Brody Nickel were out there. Neither one of them could come up with it. Here's the pitch. Outside. Swing and a miss. So Ryland goes ahead in the count 0-2. Runner leading off on second. Here's the delivery. Swung on, fouled down the first base line. The count will remain 0-2. Very slight wind today here at the ballpark, blowing more infield than outfield. Blowing kind of towards into the field towards third base. There's the delivery. Once again, popped up to the outfield, left field. The throw comes to third to hold the runner at second. So we now have 2 outs. One still on. Number 3 in left fielder, Javon Holland. So Holland's at the plate for Oologah. There's 2 outs. On deck for Oologah is their designated hitter. And here's the first pitch from Eagle. Fouled off behind home plate. Strike 1. Eagle really needing an out right here to get out of the inning. Here's the delivery. Swing on. Fouled out of play. Count's 0-2. Once again, Eagle finds himself ahead in the count. Here's the 0-2. Swung on. Tipped. The count will remain 0-2. Oologah's got a fast start to this game to jump out 2-0 over the Black Diamonds. 2 outfield hits that Black Diamond outfielders couldn't bring in. There's the 0-2. Swung on, fouled back again. Count remains 0-2. Here's the delivery. Swung on down the third base line. Foul ball. Here's the pitch. Swung on, driver out to center field. Landon Clausen's going to have, I'm sorry, not Landon Clausen. Brody Nichols going to have that for the third out of the inning. We are headed to the bottom of the second inning. Sallisaw Black Diamonds 0. The Oologah Mustangs 2. On the mound for Oologah, Caden Fisher. All right, so we can move to the bottom of the first inning. Leading off the Black Diamonds is going to be the RBI and ERA leader for the Black Diamonds, Luke Pack. Number 7, Luke Pack. So we've got Fisher to Pack for the first pitch of the bottom of the first. There's delivery inside, way inside, for ball 1. Here's the 1-0. Down the middle low for ball 2. Pack gets out in front of the count, 2-0. Here's the pitch. Outside for ball 3. Luke Pack has taken 3 straight balls from the Oologah pitcher, Caden Fisher. Here's the 3-0. Inside for ball 4. 4 straight balls to Luke Pack puts him on base. Number 17 and second baseman, Easton Wolf. Throw to first, not in time. Pack is safe. There's the pitch right down the middle for strike 1. Easton Wolf. The count to him is 0-1. 1 man on, 0 outs here in the bottom of the first. Throw to first. Pack is back and safe. They're trying to keep Pack at first base because he leads the team in stolen bases. Is he going to throw? He's going to pitch it. There's the bunt laid down third base line. Pack's going to be safe at second. Easton Wolf with the sacrifice bunt. Number 2 and pitcher Ryland Eagle. Now we have Ryland Eagle up at the plate. 1 man on. If Ryland can get a base hit into the outfield, maybe get it to the wall, will at least score 1. That'll cut the lead to half for the Black Diamonds. Here's Fisher to Eagle. Inside, but over the plate and in the strike zone. Strike 1. Here comes the 0-1. Way outside for ball 1. The ball just wouldn't quite come back for Fisher. And Fisher, pitch. Pack has stole third base. So Luke Pack adds another stolen base to his record. The count is 1-2. To Ryland Eagle. There's the pitch. Down the middle. Swung on. Down the first base line. Fouled. The count is going to remain 1-2. Tough game for Black Diamonds yesterday. They beat Oologah, but the score was not very lopsided. Their second game against Manford, they ruled them in the 6th. And here we sit at the bottom of the first. Oologah's up 2 on Sallisaw. Man in scoring position. Here's the pitch. Fouled off down the third base line. So Rylan Egan's fouled off a couple of balls. Counts 1-2. There's the pitch. Fouled off again. Eagle really fighting Fisher. Try to get a hit out of him. He's been out in front of it. He's been behind it. See if we can get one straightened out. So Sallisaw can get a score here and get another man on. There's the pitch. Outside, ball 2. Count goes to 2-2. If Eagle can get on base, then we have the go-ahead run at the plate, which will be the home run leader, Dagan Grizzle, for the Sallisaw Black Diamonds. There's the delivery. Way outside. The count goes full. Rylan Eagle making this pitcher work for it. And Fisher fouled off several balls. Count was 1-2. It's now full. There's the 3-2. Hit. It's a blooper down first base line. It goes foul. So we will reset and continue this full count to Ryland Eagle from Caden Fisher. Ryland's fouled off, I think, 5 pitches so far. And there's another 5 with the count at 3-2. There's the delivery. Outside, ball 4. Number 11 and first baseman, Dagan Grizzle. So now they're going to, Black Diamonds is going to put a runner in. That's number 10, Rowdy Nickel, going to first. And their home run leader is at the plate, and Dagan Grizzle. And Dagan Grizzle can make things happen for the Black Diamonds. He has done it several times. We witnessed earlier in the season, he hit a grand slam. That was called by Mr. Lovejoy's son. There's the first pitch to him. Let's see if he's going to pitch at him or around him. Right down the middle for strike 1. Most pitchers will try to go to the outside and away with Dagan. That one is right down the middle. There's the pitch. There's the run. There's a hit down third. Got a guy overthrew the catcher. Dagan Grizzle gets a double. Sallisaw scores 2 to tie it up. Dagan Grizzle with the double. Little confusion out there with Oologah. And the Black Diamonds tie it up. 2-2. Number 12 and left fielder, Logan Bethel. Coach is going to come out for Oologah. They're going to have a meeting. We'll break away for a few seconds. We'll be right back. That was awareness right there. That was good awareness. I thought they had that runner at third. I thought they had Luke Pack. James. Our meeting at the mound is over. We now have Logan Bethel, Sallisaw Black Diamonds left fielder. There's one out. We have Dagan Grizzle at second. Dagan hit a double. Now we have Fisher to Bethel. There's the pitch. Hit. Right at the shortstop. There's the throw to first. Got him in time. 2 outs, but it advances Dagan Grizzle to third. Number 5 and third baseman, Case. We've got Case Adams at the plate. We've got on deck number 15, the catcher, Landon Clausen. So it's 2-2, 2 outs in the bottom of the first. Here's the first pitch to Adams. Ball one. And here comes the 1-0. Inside. Apparently in the strike zone, called strike. 1-1 is the count. There's the pitch. High for ball two. There's the 2-1. Right down the middle, right down the gut for strike two. Count goes to 2-2. Sallisaw Black Diamonds tied it up. Dagan Grizzle hit to the third baseman, but he bobbled it. There's the pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike three, out three. That's the end of the inning. And Luke Pack started running home, and the third baseman was chasing him down through to first, over through the first baseman. Luke Pack made it in. Ryland Eagle was going from second to third when they tried to throw to second to get Dagan Grizzle out. Then Ryland Eagle came across and scored. So we're all tied up, bottom of the first, all even. We'll be right back for the top of the second. On the mound for the Black Diamonds, number 2, Ryland. When you bring Gabriel to the school, you don't need to hang around and you don't need to come back to get him at this time, period. I'll let you know if anything changes. Period. All right, we are back. We are going to the top of the second, 2-2, all tied up. Number 9 and designated hitter, Cross Perkins. That brings us down to their designated hitter, number 7 on their order. First pitch is ball one. So both teams had 6 batters that inning. First inning, pitch outside, ball one. Both of them ended up scoring 2 on it. Here's the delivery. Popped up to right center. They're not going to be able to get to that, so that's a base hit for Oologah. Number 1 and pitcher, Caden Fisher. That brings up Oologah's pitcher, Fisher. So we have Eagle to Fisher. There's the pitch, bunt, down the first base line. He's going to tag him out, through to second. So that's 1 out, sacrifice bunt. Ryland Eagle with the tag on the runner. Threw it over to second, but the batter was on, Perkins was on base. Number 18 and third baseman, Dax Hill. There's Eagle to Hill. The runner is leading off on second. There's a pitch. Looked good, but must have left it outside. Called ball one. Swing and a miss for strike one. Count on Dax Hill goes to 1-1. There's one out on a sacrifice bunt by their pitcher Fisher. Eagle to Hill. Swing and a miss. Tried to pull it back. Went too far. Strike two. Counts 1-2. Eagles ahead in the count. Runner on second. There's the delivery. Swing and a miss. Strike three. That brings up 2 outs for the Black Diamonds. The number 8 and shortstop, Uriah Hooks. So that brings Oologah back around to the top of their order. They've got They've got Perkins on second. Hooks is at the plate. Eagles pitch. Caught the outside corner for strike one. So the count goes to 0-1. We have 2 outs. Runner on second for Oologah. All tied up 2-2. Eagles delivery. Hit. The blooper's going to go to the second baseman. He's not going to get to anybody in time. Throws to third. Runner got back. So we have runners at the corners now for Oologah with 2 outs. Number 4 and right fielder Jet Griswold. Catcher gives a call. Oologah's threatened to score again with runners at the corners. Eagle has a new batter in Griswold. First pitch, outside, ball one. Here's the 1-0. Hit, a line drive out to right field. Over Johnny Velasquez's head. That's going to score 2 for Oologah. And Griswold has a double. Number 5 and catcher Landon Roche. So Oologah scores 2 more. The outfield playing just a little bit too shallow. So the hit made it over Johnny Velasquez's head. Now Eagle faces Roche. Eagles pitch. In there for strike one. Both teams have been hitting it pretty well today. Both of them scored 2 in the first inning, and now Oologah has scored 2 in the second. Roche calls time. Equipment malfunction. We've got Griswold on second base for Oologah. Here's the pitch. Swung on down third base line. Foul. Eagle gets ahead with 0-2. So far, Oologah against the Black Diamonds has had good luck in the outfield. They've been able to place it over the head twice of the outfielders and then in between in the gaps. Had a blooper to the second baseman that allowed runners at the corners. Griswold steps up and hits one over the right field's head. Johnny Velasquez. There's the pitch. There's the throw. Got him out. Got the lead runner out. That's the third out of the inning. So with that, the Black Diamonds get out of the inning with only 2 runs scored. Sallisaw Black Diamonds 2, Oologah 4. We'll be right back for the bottom of the second. It's going to be a battle. He had him on the shoulders. That's a tough situation. The coach had almost a better look at it than the out when he was behind him. Good team, lead off. Hard winding up to go into the bottom of the second. Sallisaw Black Diamonds trailing by 2. Leading off this inning for the Black Diamonds, number 15 and catcher Landon Clausen. Runs. First pitch is in for a strike. Count goes to 0-1. So far, the Black Diamonds and Oologah have been trading spats. Oologah started off the game with 2. There's the pitch. Outside. Ball 1. Oologah started off strong. Got 2 scores at the top of the first. Black Diamonds responded. 2 scores in the bottom. And Oologah has scored 2 again in the top of the second. Here's a 1-1. Inside for ball 2. Clausen gets out in front of the count. Puts a little bit more pressure on Fisher. There's the 2-1. Fouled back into the dugout for strike 2. The count is now a Chuck Woolery 2-2. Here comes the 2-2. High. Ball 3. Count goes full. So the first batter for the Black Diamonds, the bottom of the second inning, is now sitting at a full count, 3-2. There's the full. Down the middle, swing and a miss. Strike 3. Number 9 for Black Diamonds and designated hitters, Carson Sharp. So that'll bring up the Black Diamonds designated hitter, Carson Sharp. Black Diamonds have yet to make it through their batting order for the first time yet. Highly unusual for the Black Diamonds. There's a delivery. High and outside, ball 1. Yesterday's game against Oologah, by the third inning, they had gone through 14 batters. There's a hit. It's in the hole, over the shortstop. You've got Carson Sharp on base, designated hitter. 1 on for the Sallisaw Black Diamonds, 1 out. Number 4 and right fielder, Johnny Velasquez. So the tying run at the plate with 1 out. Black Diamonds really can't afford to do any sacrificing here. They need to get a couple of guys on before they can do that. There's the pitch. There's the runner. Carson Shop thrown out at second base. And just like that, we are 2 outs for the Black Diamonds. Carson Sharp is the batter. The count is 1-0 to him with 2 outs. There's the 1-0. High for ball 2. Black Diamonds have really got to do 2 things in this game to get ahead of Oologah. They've got to get their bats hot, and then they've got to play better defense. There's the pitch. Swung on. Second baseman bobbles it. And Johnny is safe. As Mr. Lovejoy says all the time, here's Johnny. Number 7 and shortstop, Luke Pack. So now the Black Diamonds reach the top of their order. We've got 1 on. And Coach Warchower is very, very aggressive. Steals a lot of bases. Carson Sharp just couldn't quite beat the throw. He recorded the second out of the inning. There's the pitch. High for ball 1. The Fisher to Pack. 1-0. Throw to first. Johnny is safe. Johnny leading off again. Back to first. I think the pitcher's thinking if he can get Johnny out, he doesn't have to face Luke until next inning. And Luke is just the top of the Black Diamonds order. There's the pitch. Inside and low for ball 2. I think he said 1-1, but yeah, he's got 1-1. Sorry, that's my fault. So the count's 1-1 to Pack. Johnny Velasquez on first, leading off. There's the pitch. Strike 2 to Pack. Falls behind in the count. One and two, 2 outs, bottom of the second. Black Diamonds trail by 2. That pitch is low. It's full count. We were behind on a ball there. Throw to first, not in time. So it's 3-1. Sorry, not full count. So Pack ahead in the count. Here's the 3-1. Down the middle, Johnny swings. I'm sorry, Luke swings. Strike 2. Now the count's full. Black Diamonds need another runner on. Outside, ball 4. Luke Pack is on base. Black Diamonds have the go-ahead run at the plate in Easton Wolf. Number 17 and second baseman, Easton Wolf. Bottom of the second, 2 on, 2 outs for the Black Diamonds, who trail by 2. There's the first pitch down the middle, strike 1 to Wolf. There goes the 0-1. Down the middle, hit over the third baseman, and they're going to bring a run home. Runners at first and second will be held up. The Black Diamonds score 1 to cut the lead in half. Number 2, and pitcher Rylan. Now the scores: Sallisaw Black Diamonds 3, Oologah 4. Still 2 men on, 2 out. Rylan Eagle up to bat. Dagan Grizzle on deck. First pitch to Eagle, right down the middle for strike 1. Both teams have had actually really good batting. Been a few errors on both teams, and that's where the score sits. There's runners go. Hit right down the hole. That's going to tie the game up. Runners held at second and third. Oh, overthrew second baseman. Scores runner number 5. Overthrew the third baseman. And Sallisaw Black Diamonds in the bottom of the second clear the bases and makes the score 6-4. Diamonds ahead. Dagan Grizzle is next batter up. And they're going to have a meeting at the mound. We will step away. Be right back. It's an exciting one. Both teams are scoring on errors. Oh, goodness. Coach, I may not know by the time I leave. If neither team had any errors, the score would be. All right, the Dagan Grizzle comes up to the plate. Fisher is still the pitcher for Oologah. Here comes the first pitch. High and inside, ball 1. Number 11 and first baseman, Dagan Grizzle. Here comes the 1-0. High for ball 2. Most pitchers have been very, very weary of pitching to Dagan because he can take it the length of the field. Here's the pitch. Over the right side of the plate for strike 1. The Sallisaw Black Diamonds have put a little pressure on Oologah by scoring 4 in the second, bottom of the second. There's the pitch. Almost the exact same spot for strike 2 as the first strike. Dagan not happy with that call. But now that he knows he's going to call it, if it's anywhere around there, he needs to take a swing at it. Up call time. Pitcher didn't hear it. He was in his windup. Threw a very wild pitch. Almost hit Dagan Grizzle in spite of the fact that he was stepping out of the batter's box. So, I mean, that was a really, really, really wide outside pitch or inside pitch for Dagan's sake. The count's 2-2. Here's the windup, the delivery. Dagan's going to pop it up. Going out to center field, calls it. And that records out number 3. We're going to the top of the third inning. Sallisaw Black Diamond 6, Oologah 4. Had a shootout here in the second day of the regionals. What would the rules have been if he would have hit Dagan, even though time was called? Nothing would have happened.
I think he's trying to hold up after he called time.
Yeah, he was trying to hold the pitch. Yeah.
I ain't called time. There's nothing.
Nothing happens after time, right? It's dead ball.
Yeah.
Nothing would have happened except a bunch of upset fans. All right, we're back going to the top of the third inning. Number 5, and catcher Landon Roche. So we have Oologah's catcher up. They are back around to number 3 in their order. So they batted through their order, come back around, went to number 3. The Black Diamonds have gone all the way around and ended at number 4. So they're neck and neck as far as being through their orders in the innings. First pitch is outside, ball 1. Both teams hitting fairly well. Both teams capitalizing on the other team's errors. Been a lot of errors in this game by both teams. There's the pitch. Right down the middle, popped up. Called by Landon Clausen. Caught for out number 1 of the inning. Not a lot of wind out there today to carry the ball. So unless you can do a line drive high and fast, it's probably not going to go anywhere. Number 7 and first baseman, Carson Robertson. So the first out of the inning is recorded. Pop fly to center field, Landon Clausen. First pitch is outside for ball 1. It's the 0-1. Nasty pitch that curved right across the plate from way outside for strike 1. The 1-1. Right down the middle, popped up to left center. Bounced over the wall. Logan Bethel fell on his way to catch it. Was almost to it and fell down. And it bounced over the wall. So it's a run rule double. Number 10 and center fielder, Maddox DeFilbus. So Oologah continuing to have pretty hot bats. 1 out and a double, so man on second. Roche hit a ball that went to left center field. Logan Bethel couldn't quite get to it, and it bounced over the wall. First pitch. Fouled down the first base line. Strike 1. Here comes the 0-1. Left it outside for ball 1. Neither team's pitchers really having a dominating performance here. A lot of hits. Swing and a miss for strike 2. He goes ahead in the count. Count is 1-2 with 1 out, 1 on. Man on second for Oologah. Here's the delivery. Right down the middle, swing and a miss. Strike 3. Ryland Eagle gets that out, so it's 2 outs in the inning with 1 man on. Number 3 in left fielder, John Hollard. So the score is Sallisaw Black Diamond 6, Oologah 4. Swung on, tipped by Holland for strike 1. Each inning has been a battle for both teams. First inning, it was 2-2. Each team scored deuces. The second inning, Oologah scored 2. Sallisaw scored 4. Time called. Holland's having a problem with his bat. Something loose on it, apparently. So he's going to switch bats. And now we will get set. Batters in the box, pitchers on the mound. 0-1 with 2 outs, 1 on for Oologah. Here's the 0-1. Swing and a miss for strike 2. Ryland Eagle going way ahead in the count. Definitely pitcher's advantage with the count being 0-2. Play around a little bit, try to make him chase something outside. Try to get another swing and a miss out of him. Hollard is choking up really far on that bat. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Out 3. The top of the third. Black Diamonds get a shutout at the top of the third, with Oologah scoring 0 points. Sallisaw Black Diamond 6, Oologah 4. We'll be right back for the bottom of the third. Yes, it should be 12. Do they have anything to read for the presentation of the plaque, or do you know? Did I tell you 12? Hmm?
You asking me or?
Yeah, yeah. That's what you have. That's what it is. So. All right, we are back. We're at the bottom of the third. Sallisaw Black Diamonds leading by 2. Leading off this inning, number 12 and left fielder Logan Bethel. So the Black Diamonds able to get a 0-score inning from Oologah for the first time in the third inning. Both teams hitting very well. Both teams have had quite a few errors. Black Diamonds have cut their errors out in the top of the third, not allowing Oologah to score any. There's the first pitch inside and high for ball 1. And if the Black Diamonds want to put this one away, they've got to keep the bats hot, keep the errors low. Here's the 1-0. Way outside. For ball 2. So 2-0, bottom of the third, 0 outs for the Black Diamonds. First batter of the inning. There's the pitch, low, and Fisher has thrown 3 straight balls to Logan Bethel. On deck, we have Case Adams, third baseman for the Black Diamonds. Here's a 3-0. Ball walks him. Another scoring run at first base for the Black Diamonds. Number 5 and third baseman, Case Adams. And they're going to have a meeting at the plate, and we'll be right back when they are done. They might be doing a pitching change here.
Well, new fitting matters. Ski Racing Revolution 14. The label features from his current career. Athletes are expected to be in control. Will make a game lessons in his career. Another also game against his career.
I cannot see his number. He will not show me his back.
I think it's 10.
I think so too.
Probably get better view is 10.
Now on the mound for Oologah, number 10, Maddox to Phyllis. I'll get me. Testing, 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 testing. 1, 2, testing, 1, 2. Am I dead? Hey, you're hearing me? How about now? Am I dead or you're hearing me? One, two, testing, 1, 2. You can hear me? Still? All right, we're back. Got number 5, Case Adams at the plate. There's the delivery. The first pitch to him is a strike. Black Diamonds have 1 on. 0-1. Pitching change for Oologah. Number 10, Maddox DeFilbus is on the mound now. There's the pitch. Swung on, caught by third baseman. That was a great catch. Snow cone catch for out number 1. Number 15 and catcher Landon Clausen. That one, by all intents and purposes, should have been into the outfield, but that third baseman came up with a snow cone catch. So 1 out, 1 on for the Black Diamonds in the bottom of the third. Pitch way outside for ball 1. There's the windup. A lot of movement in that ball, but it was high for ball 2. We've got Clausen at the plate. Logan Bethel on first. Throw to first. Not in time. Bethel is still safe on first. Throw to first. Not in time. He's safe. The pitch is a strike, so the count goes to 3-1. We got Logan Bethel. That's on second. He stole second on the last ball pitch. So here's the 3-1. Swing and a miss. The count is full on Landon Clausen. Three, two, one out. Diamonds lead by 2. 1 on. Logan Bethel at second. Landon Clausen at the plate. Black Diamonds trying to extend their lead in these hard-fought innings. There's the delivery. Swung on, popped up, down the first base line. First baseman's over, catches it for the out. Out number 2 for the inning. Number 9 and designated hitter, Carson Sharp. The last time at bat, Carson had a hit right over the shortstop, right in the gap. If he can do that again, the Black Diamonds will extend their lead. There's the pitch. Swing and a miss by Sharp for strike 1. So we got 0-1 with 2 outs. At the bottom of the third. Here's the 0-1. Got the outside corner for strike 2. This pitcher's taking his time. Takes a lot of time in between pitches. There's the 0-2. That's hit to the shortstop. Shortstop's bobbles it. Safe at third, safe at first. Runners at the corners for the Black Diamonds. On an error by the shortstop. Number 4 in right fielder, Johnny Velasquez. So yet another error in this game. Each team has shared in the error count. Runners at the corners for the Diamonds. First pitch to Johnny. Swing and a miss, high for strike 1. The Black Diamonds have made it all the way back through their order again. Throw to first. Carson Sharp is thrown out. Had too big of a lead off the bag. We go to the top of the 4th. We'll be right back. Number 9, Cross Perkins. First pitch was a strike, strike 1. Here comes the 0-1. Outside for ball 1. Count goes to 1-1. There's the windup. There's the pitch. Swung on. Foul down the third base line. Barely got a hold of it, but that still gets a piece of it. So strike 2. So the count goes to 1-2. Here's the pitch. Caught the corner for strike 3. Ryland Eagle gets the first out of the inning. Number 1 and pitcher, Caden Fisher. Here's the pitch. Outside corner for strike 1. Delivery outside for ball 1. Count goes to 1-1 with 1 out. Top of the 4th. Here's the 1-1. Swing and a miss. Strike 2, Ryland Eagles with Fisher has kept it outside. There's the delivery. Too far outside to get him to chase. Count goes to 2-2. Here's the 2-2. Right across the plate again in that same corner. Strike 3. 2 strikeouts in this inning for Ryland Eagle. Number 18 and third baseman, Dax Hill. First pitch. Too far outside for ball 1. Ryland doesn't like to take a lot of time in between pitches. As soon as the batter's ready, he pitches. Strike 1 down the middle. 1-1. Oologah's pitcher that's pitching right now, Maddox DeFilbus, takes a lot of time in between pitches. Eagle is quite the opposite. Swing and a miss. Strike 2. Almost feels like with this pitching style that Eagle's doing, it rushes the batter a little bit. There's the pitch. Popped out behind home plate. Count remains 1-2. 2 outs. We're on the top of the 4th. Black Diamonds have been able to have a shutout inning in the 3rd. This pitch, a little bit too far outside for the umpire's liking, goes to 2-2. Outside and high, the count goes full. Ryland Eagle trying to work that outside of the plate. Last few pitches hasn't been able to connect with it. Gets ball 4. Walks Hill. Number 8 and shortstop, Uriah Hooks. And now Oologah swings back around to the top of their order. Throw to first. Not in time. Black Diamonds ended their last inning, the bottom of the 3rd. They were shut out by Oologah. The throw out at first. There's the pitch. Caught the corner on that one for strike one. His first pitch to Hill. Here comes pitch number 2. Got it across the plate again. Hill falls behind in the count. 0-2. Throw to first. Runner safe. Here's the delivery. Throw to second. Runner's going. Runner's called safe at second. The count is 0-2, 2 outs, 1 man on for Oologah. Got a man on second. Uriah Hooks at the plate. Here's the pitch. Fouled off down the first base line. Count remains 1-2. Here's the 1-2 call time. That was a good pitch by Eagle, but time was called, so it doesn't matter. Dead ball. 1-2 with 2 outs for Eagle. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. Out number 3. The Black Diamonds get another shutout inning in the top of the 4th. Am I dead now? Testing, 1, 2. Testing. Live. All right, we're back here at the bottom of the 4th. Black Diamond still leading by 2. There's the pitch. High. First pitch to Johnny is high. Ball 1. Had 2 runs in the first inning, 2 runs in the second inning by Oologah. They've been shut out in the 3rd and the 4th. Black Diamonds have 2 in the first, 4 in the second. They were shut out in the 3rd. Here's the pitch. Inside for ball 2. The Black Diamonds are ahead by 2 at this point. Right down the middle on that one. Strike 1. Count goes to 2-1. Here's the pitch. Way outside for ball 3. Here's the 3-1. High for ball 4. And the Black Diamonds have a man on base. Number 7 and shortstop, Luke Pack. So with that, the Black Diamonds go to the top of their order. Number 7, Luke Pack at the plate. 0 outs, 1 man on for them. Trying to extend the lead in the bottom of the 4th. Here's the delivery. Bunt. Right to the pitcher. Throw to first. Sacrifice bunt. Moves the runner. Velasquez to second. Number 17 and second baseman, Easton Wolf. So Johnny started off the inning, walked to first. Luke Pack did a sacrifice bunt. So now Velasquez is at second. Wolf at the plate. It's a delivery way outside. Ball 1. Here's the 1-0. High for ball 2. Takes the count to 2-0. 1 out, bottom of the 4th. Diamonds lead 6-4 here in this second day of regional play. Silvas was going to throw to second. There was nobody on second. Velasquez was back to second in time without the throw. Here's the 2-0. Right down the middle. Popped out to left field by Easton Wolf. Home run for the Black Diamonds. Their player hit the wall out there really hard. They're going to have to take some time to look at that. We'll be back when they are. 0-0. All right, so we are back after a brief timeout there. Ryland Eagle at the plate. That was a home run by Easton Wolf. First pitch inside, ball one. So we got Easton Wolf at the mound. The Sallisaw Black Diamonds, Easton Wolf hit the home run. We've got Ryland Eagle at the plate and Dagan Grizzle on deck. The Sallisaw Black Diamonds now lead by 4. The score in the bottom of the fourth is 4-8. Easton Wolf looked like he was hit by the pitch. I guess he wasn't. It was just really close. So it's 2 balls, no strikes to Ryland Eagle, rather. Sorry. I said Wolf, swing and a miss by Ryland. Here's the delivery outside for ball 3. So the count for Eagle goes 3-1. 1 out for the Black Diamonds, bottom of the second. And he gets walked. So the Black Diamonds have 1 on with number 11 and first baseman, Dagan Grizzle at the plate. Their home run leader. And they're going to pitch run Eagle. They're going to put number 10, Rowdy Nickel, out there on first base. And they're going to have a mound meeting. We'll come back after that. All right, here we go. We are the top of the fourth. The Black Diamonds have scored 2. Dagan Grizzle at the plate. The Oologah Mustangs have changed pitchers. Now number 12, Jaden Copeland, on the mound for them. Had a timeout a while ago. Their left fielder hit the wall pretty hard, chasing a hit that ended up being a home run. Dagan Grizzle has 1 on, trying to extend his RBI count. There's the pitch, high for ball 1. The Oologah Mustangs have gone through 3 pitchers. They started off with number 1, Caden Fisher, went to number 10, Maddox DeFilbus, and now on the mound for them, 12, Jaden Copeland. There's the pitch. There's the hit by Dagan Grizzle. Home run! Dagan Grizzle hits another home run, gets another RBI. The Black Diamonds extend their lead to 10. So they are ahead by 4, ahead by 6, with the Oologah Mustangs being 4. Black Diamonds 10, Oologah Mustangs 4.
You know. All right, this is Coach Tyler here, taking over for Mr. Moss. He had to go drive a bus route here in the top of the fifth. Got one out. Had a big fourth inning right there with Dagan Grizzle hitting a home run, Easton Wolf hitting a home run. Gave us some breathing room to go up 10-4. High pop fly. Gonna be tracked down by Brody Mills out of center field. Good catch there by Brody. It gives us 2 outs for the inning. Mhm. Brings up number 7 for Oologah. Ground ball, hard hit ball back to the pitcher. Ryland knocks it down, throws him out at first. Good 1-2-3 inning there for the Black Diamonds. Going to the bottom of the fifth, up 10-4. You hear me? Yes. Testing. Here we are back in the bottom of the fifth. Landon Clausen up the bat, had a pitch and change for Oologah. Number 12, Jaden Copeland is on the mound now for the Oologah Mustangs here. First pitch strike. Foul ball. Moves the count to 0-2. Inside fastball, fouled off again. Goes towards Chow making a play down the line. Hard hit ball to the shortstop. Makes the play, 1 out. Brings up number 9, Carson Sharp. Sharp's had a good day at the plate today. Strike 1. New pitcher change coming in from Oologah, throwing strikes here. He's throwing well. Foul ball down the line is going to carry out a play. 0-2, one out. Bottom of the fifth, Black Diamonds up 10-4. Hold on to win this one here and come back next week and have the Super Regionals starting next week. Black Diamonds should be hosting. We'll find that out from the OSSAA this weekend or Monday. Oh, hard hit ball up the middle, stopped by the pitcher. We're going to run it out there. Hard hit ball by Carson Sharp. Check on the pitcher there. That ball was hit extremely hard right at him up the middle. Made a good play on it. Number 9 hole hitter, Johnny Velasquez, stepping into the box. Got Carson Sharp on first, one out. Black Diamonds up 10-4, bottom of the fifth inning. High fastball there, goes the ball one. Oh, doubled him up right there. Carson got kind of hung in no man's land right there. Ball hit by Velasquez. Doubled him up right there. Gets Oologah out of the inning. Moved to the top of the sixth here. Black Diamonds up 10-4. Here we are. Back to the top of the sixth inning. Rylan Eagle still on the mound for the Black Diamonds, throwing a great ball game today. Uh, they kind of got to him a little early. Got a few runs early on us. He settled in here in the last few innings here, started throwing a lot of strikes, working fast, and throwing the ball really well right now. Got number 10 up the bat for Oologah. Strike there by Eagle. Moves the count to 0-2. High pitch there. Moves the count to 1-2 with the ball. Strike three. Great pitch there by Eagle with the breaking ball. Got number 19 in the bat for Oologah. Jack Major takes a swing and a miss right there on the first pitch. Count goes to 0-1. One out. Top of the sixth, 10-4 Black Diamonds. Nice pitch. Little low. Ball there. Moves the count to 1-1. High and outside. Moves the count to 2-1. Good pitch there by Eagle. Swing and a miss by number 19 there, Major. Moves the count to 2-2. Good pitch. Strike three. Froze him at the plate again there. Another great pitch by Eagle. Said Ryland has really settled in here since about the third inning. Got zeros across the board. Gave up a couple of hits early, but like I said, has settled in really well here and started pitching great. Throwing a lot of strikes, working fast, working ahead in the count. Doing all the things you need to do to be successful on the mound. Good pitch there. With the count to 0-1, number 9 up for Oologah here. The DH, Perkins. Good pitch there. Foul ball. Moves the count to 0-2. Two tries, two strikes, 2 outs, 10-4 lead by the Black Diamonds, top of the sixth inning. Ground ball to the third baseman, Case Adams, makes a throw across the deck and Grizzle, third out. Another 1-2-3 inning there by the Black Diamonds. Move to the bottom of the sixth. Black Diamonds up 10-4. Here we are back to live play. Got number 7, Luke Pack up the bat here. Start us in the bottom of the sixth. Strike one. Ground ball to second base. He boots it there. Pack with another hit. Well, I got a runner on first. Easton Wolf back up the bat here. Last at bat hit a home run. Now Luke Pack on first. Swing and a foul ball down to Coach Warchow again, making a play down the line there. And the foul ball. Moves the count to 0-2. Game number 12. Jaden Copeland coming in the fifth inning, throwing a lot of strikes here for the Mustangs. Easton back in the box here. Ball outside, moves the count to 1 ball, 2 strikes, no outs, runner on first. Diamonds up 10-4. Looking to close this OSSAA regional tournament out today. This game 4 of the regional tournament, day 2. High fly ball by Easton to left field. Going to be caught. Be out number 1. Riley Eagle back in the box. Again, Riley's throwing a tremendous ball game on the mound today. 6 innings right now. Get a base hit here, kind of open up the gap a little bit more, help his cause out some. Gonna have a stolen base here by Luke Pack. He advances to second on the stolen base. Gives him another stolen base on the year. I know Coach Lamb and Coach Warchild like getting him on because it's almost as good as a double sometimes when he gets on first base there with his speed. Want to steal third. Catcher over throws the third baseman. Error. Pack scores there to make it 11-4. That's just a good thing about what Coach Warchild and Coach Lamb do with our base running, man. They put a lot of pressure on teams by making them throw those balls like that. I know we get caught a few times, but again, it puts a lot of strain on the defense there when you got guys that can run the bases. And you see what happened there? They threw it out in left field. We scored another run. Strike there. Moves the count to 2-1, 1 out. Black Diamonds up 11-4. Bottom of the 6th. Another strike. Swing and a miss there by Ryland Eagle. Moves the count to 2-2. Hits a little low there. Moves a full count. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Low and inside. Going to walk our pitcher. Number 2, Ryland Eagle. Will move down to first base. Brings up number 11, Dagan Grizzle. Got Rowdy Nickel coming into courtesy run for the pitcher. Dagan's last at bat. Hit 1 out as well. Looks like we're going to have a pitching change here with Oologah. Going to take number 12 out, bring number 6 in. Man, what a great year it's been for our spring sports. Baseball sitting here. Won 20-plus games again for the second year in a row. Soccer won a district championship this week. They're having a great year. They'll be starting the playoffs next week here at Sallisaw with our soccer team. Coach Sinway Rodriguez and Coach Kai Smith. Those guys doing a tremendous job with our boys soccer team. Girls got beat by Stillwell the other night, 3-0, ended their season. But the boys have a chance to host 3 playoff games. Hopefully, if they continue to win. Baseball again should be back home again next week. We should be hosting a super regional Be the best 2 out of 3. And we should know something from the OSSAA by Monday, hopefully at the latest. We kind of know what time and what days we'll play. I'm sure the coaches usually get together because of the weather and see the forecast and all that, and then kind of adjust the game schedule around that at times. All right, here we are, bottom of the 6th. Again, Black Diamond's up 11-4. Dagan Grizzle stepping into the plate here. 1 out. Last at bat was a home run. Dagan's having a great year at the plate and on the mound. A Rowdy Nickel at first. High and outside for ball 1. Pitcher throws over to first, trying to pick off our base runner over there. Swing and a miss. Foul ball. Moves the count to 1-1. 1 out. Bottom of the 6th, 11-4. High ball 2. Moves the count to 2-1. Inside pitch. Dagan fouls it off. Not very happy with himself there. Moves the count to 2-2. Ball in the dirt there. Moves the full count, 3-2. Rowdy Nickel on first. Full count here. Pitcher in a stretch. Low and outside. Ball 4. Walks Grizzle. Moves Nickel to second. Grizzle to first. Logan Bethel coming up to bat. Boy, Bethel's had a great day the last 2 days. Hitting the ball. Got a pinch runner coming in for Grizzle. The number 21, Matthew McGrew. First pitch, low and inside, ball 1. Called strike. Moves the count to 1-1. 1 out. Runners at first and second. Diamonds up 11-4, bottom of the sixth. Looking to close this series out here and move on to the Super Regional next week. Another fastball down the middle. Another strike was the count to 1 ball, 2 strikes. Runner's going on the pitch. Throw down to second. Going to get McGrew out at second. Nichols still third. Had the double still on. Brings 2 outs in the inning. Nickel on third. Curveball. A little high. Moves the count to 3-2. Full count. On Bethel. 2 outs. Runner on third. Ball 4 inside. That walk brings number 5, Case Adams, to the box, to the plate. Case is having a great year at third base this year. Just a really tremendous athlete. Got runners on the corners. First and third. First pitch. Going to fly out to the right fielder. So that's 3 outs. Going to the top of the seventh. Diamonds up 11-4. We are back in the top of the seventh. And number 1 for Oologah up to bat here. Caden Fisher. Riley going to go to the distance here. First pitch strike on the outside corner. Strike 2. Curveball in there. Another good pitch by Eagle. Again, since about the second, third inning there, Ryland has really settled in and started throwing the ball well, keeping the ball down. High fastball there. 1-2. Trying to get him to chase there a little bit so if we get a strikeout. Wind up delivery. Another ball. Going to move the count to 2-2. Strike 3. Another strikeout for Eagle. 1 out. Brings up number 18, Dax Hill for the Mustangs. First pitch, foul ball. Fastball outside. Coming to count to 1-1. 1 out. Top of the 7th. 2 outs away from winning a regional championship here. Swing and a miss. 2 strikes. The Eagles going to go have a complete game here today, which is great. Just talking to the coaches before the game, they needed this out of him. And like I said, he stepped in and delivered another great performance on the mound for us. There's a ground ball to third baseman Case Adams, still across to Dagan Grizzle, out number 2. Really go down to their last out here. Top of the 7th, down 11-4. Brings up number 8. Wind up delivery outside, ball 1. There's a pitch. Hit up the middle. I almost got him out at first. Good play by Luke Pack, just getting that knocked down. That was a hard hit ball up the middle right there. Easton was able to get over there and got it and almost threw him out at first. Ring number 4 for Oologah. Jet Griswold. Lefty steps in, lefty on lefty here. Got 2 outs. Top of the 7th, 11-4 Black Diamonds. First pitch, strike by Eagle. Again, it's been really impressive with Ryland, how he's starting ahead in every account. You know, that's always great as a pitcher. I know coaches love that when you're throwing strikes. Second pitch, curveball, strike 2. 0-2, 2 outs. Griswold at the plate. Eagle in the windup. Delivers a little bit outside. Good miss there. Time. Delivery. Oh, man. What a pitch. I think that may even froze the umpire on that one. Ball 2. Moves the count to 2-2, 2 outs. You go back to work. Outside. Full count. 3-2. Two outs, runner on first. Diamonds up 11-4. And Eagle delivery. There's a fly ball to Logan Bethel. Should end the ball game here. Ball game, folks. Your Black Diamonds, regional champions, with an 11-4 victory over Oologah. Check back in with our Facebook page, baseball Facebook page, the school Facebook page website should have something released hopefully by the end of the week, early, Monday next week to check on the super regionals. But the Black Diamonds should be hosting again here next week. And like I said, looking forward to that. Until then, we're going to sign out of here. Coach Tyler here, and hopefully see everybody again next week here at Black Diamond Stadium.